because, as I said, the reason why I think, talk about this other stuff freely, right? Sex, breakups, a man did you dirty, right?
All that.
All the things, some of the, it's because you think everybody has gone through it. So you don't feel like you're alone.
Right.
So you don't feel ashamed. Like, a man cheated on you, shoot, he cheated on me too, right? I've been cheated on too, and you be swapping stories. Who got cheated on the worst, right? But with finances stuff, nobody's swapping stories about my rock bottom versus your rock bottom.
Welcome to 1188 Outside the Box, where unconventional wisdom reigns and conversations know no bounds, inspiring curiosity and self-reflection on a journey of personal growth in an authentic space to think freely outside the box. I am your host, T. Liz. This episode's guest is Economist and Money Coach Dr. Caresse Campbell. Join us as we dive into a discussion of growth through life experiences and breaking free from the weight of financial shame and stepping into confidence. Let's jump right in. Hello, Reese. Welcome to 1188. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. Thank you for coming on. Would you like to tell us a little about yourself, or would you like for it to come out during the interview or discussion?
Yeah, I can tell you a little bit about myself. I can tell you a little bit about myself. Let me see. So my name is Caresse Campbell. I'm an economist by training. That's my day job, but my passion is for helping people achieve financial freedom and generational wealth. And
there it is.
That's it in a nutshell.
What made you? Why is that your passion? What made that? What set you on that path? What is there a defining moment?
So my growing up in Jamaica, I think I was always, growing up in a third world country, you're always very, it's right in front of you, kind of the have and have nots, and how, and I think that's why I even went into being an economist, because who decides to be an economist at 16?
Right.
But I think I was always very curious about the trade-offs that you have to make with regard, we have limited resources,
right,
and what are the trade-offs that we have to make. And so I went into health econ, and I have a master's in public health. I think the two ways that you can really impact our communities are through improving their health and improving their financial status. And so the health stuff I do through my day job, and then the financial stuff I think I do through my passion. And if we just go jump right in, that Blacks have the lowest we have the lowest income of all the racial groups, and so we have a lot to work on.
Right.
We have almost negative net worth, or very low, or close to zero net worth as a people, and so there's just a lot of work to be done in that area.
Why do you think that is?
There's so many things. I don't know if but there's structural racism. We don't start at the same place as everybody else, right? So we're less likely to have inheritance. We're less likely to have parents that are able to help us. A lot of other populations, their family might be able to give them a down payment for a house, or their family might be able to, I don't have the statistics with me,
I got you.
But I know statistically speaking, Blacks have higher student loan debt. So all the things, we're just always starting prepared, right? We're always starting kind of behind the 8 ball. Then we have structural racism. We pay higher rates for credit. We've seen things in the news where our homes are valued less. And so there's lots of reasons.
And it's real, and people don't think it's real. Yeah. Right? So or they deny that it's real, even though they know it's real.
Yeah, so we have a multitude of reasons why.
And then there's the baseline too. It's just lack of education, lack of knowledge of what they can do and how they can build wealth, right? Yeah. And even in other races, they teach their children from birth even, and they start saving for their children from birth and teaching them how to navigate through the loopholes that cause generational or result in generational wealth. So
so we have, like you said, multitude of reasons. We could spend a whole day talking about that.
Yeah, we could. That's awesome. I never really looked at it like that, and I don't think I ever really knew what you did. I know that your passion is finance, but I don't know. I didn't know what your day job was really. I just knew you did something. I didn't know exactly what it was. But that's so. I think it's beautiful that you hit both sides, right? So both are kind of sort of your passion, because it is to help people, to help them betterment. So health by day.
Because even in health, if you look at health, we're at the bottom in health, right?
Yes.
We have the highest rates of diabetes. We have the highest, rates of a heart disease. Then even if you look at something like cancer, we have the worst outcomes, right?
Right.
We tend to get diagnosed later.
And that all relates back to finances too.
Yeah. So it's all interconnected.
It is.
And then when we're sick, then you're out of work.
Right.
When you're sick, you lose your insurance. And you know, there's so many things that are connected. And so I try to do my part on both sides.
Right. So you said you're from Jamaica. Tell me about your journey here. Tell me about what made you come to America.
So I didn't want to go to school at home because it was close. So I lived like a 15-minute walk from the university, so it wasn't anything really deep. It was like just like how other people want to leave their home state. I just
want to leave the country.
I just wanted to leave the country because I was like, I don't want to just go to school a 10-minute walk from home.
Yeah, of course.
And I was actually reflecting on that journey the other day and thinking about how, you know, of course, sometimes you don't realize things when you're in it.
Of course, that's
what you know.
What it is.
But I mean, I was thinking that I was 18 because my birthday's in the summer. My birthday's in August. So the end of August, I come to the U.S. And my parents drop me off and they go back to Jamaica at 18. At 18, I'm in another country by myself.
Right.
And so at that point, I go open up my bank account by myself. I have to manage my money by myself. This is before there was no Cash App.
Right. All that.
There was no
Zelle,
we didn't even have phone. We had I didn't have a cell phone. We had the phone in your dorm, and then it cost so much money for my parents to call me all the way in the States, or for me to call my parents. I had to buy a phone card.
Yeah, exactly. Did you realize when you got dropped off the magnitude of what it was, how big where you were? Did you realize how big America was?
So I remember telling my mom when we got there, so we stopped in New York City, and then we drove 6 hours from New York City to Rochester, New York, which is like, even that is mind blowing.
Yeah, of course.
There's no part in Jamaica that takes you 6 hours to go to. And then I remember saying to my mom, I changed my mind. I don't want to go anymore. I'm like, can this just be like a visit? Can it just be a trip?
I walk to school. I walk to the university.
Right. Because I got into the University of the West Indies. I did apply and I got in. So I'm like, I can still go. And she was like, no, like, you've come too far.
You're not giving up now.
You gotta go. But I did have that moment where I was like, yeah, I changed my mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think that I thought of the magnitude. And it was like a one-day trip. It wasn't like, as I said, now where parents stay and help their kids put the room together. No,
they literally dropped you off.
They drove me 6 hours. It probably took longer because we stopped and we got food. 6 hours is like no stops from New York to Rochester. So after that, they literally dropped me off and had to drive back to New York to go back to Jamaica. So there was none of that just staying overnight and making sure you were good. And so, but it was like a good opportunity. They gave me money. I got a scholarship. And I'm pretty sure even with my path that I've taken career-wise, I probably wouldn't have done that if I had stayed in Jamaica, just because of the exposure
that you had here. Yeah, because I know with my mom, when she came to America, she was in Miami, and she called somebody in New York and said, come pick me up. Yeah. And they had to explain to her, no, it does not work like that. That's not, that ain't it. And so that for me was like mind-blowing. So I think that's a beautiful journey, and that you decided to stay here and that you built a life here. Tell me about Fit Finance.
So you talk about you had something in your mind for years. So in 2016, I went and got certified to be a certified financial educator instructor. Because of course I love school and I love, there's no way I'm going to do something without actually getting like a certification or doing a class in it or something, right? And so I did that in 2016, and I started like posting, but just one of those things where you fall off, because honestly, I get discouraged. Like, I'll start and stop because people don't really want to talk about money, right? It's such a touchy subject. I joke and I'm like, if I was selling some weave, I'm sure I'd get like a lot more consistent, people, in terms of people being interested or following up. Anything that you're doing with behavior change, so whether it be fitness, whether finances, it's very hard
to get people to
engage, or to get people to be like consistent with it, right? And so, but it's something that I started since 2016, and just now I'm like, oh my goodness, it's been quite a few years now that I'm actually like really, like I said, leaning in to it. And it's a coaching service that I have, where similar to like if you were coaching with a gym, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why the name Fit
Mm-hmm.
Finance,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because so much of it is about being consistent,
Right.
right? Like you can't do good with your budget this month and then while out next month,
Right?
like or
Because you eat it up,
right, or do good Monday through
Mm-hmm.
Friday, and then the weekend you go and
Mm-hmm.
you eating out and you went to the
Right.
club
Right.
and you went shopping and
Mm-hmm.
you did so good. It's so much of it is about consistency.
Mm-hmm.
So much of it is about sacrifice. But even on the flip side, like the fitness part,
Mm-hmm.
you might be sacrificing, like you're not eating this or
Mm-hmm.
that, but what are you getting for your sacrifice, right? So instead of being like, well, I'm not able to shop every weekend, but what are you getting for that? You're saving
Right.
for the down payment on your house,
Right.
or you have an emergency fund now. So if your car breaks down, you don't have to like put it on your credit card at 24% interest.
Mm-hmm.
You have money. So what are you getting? So a lot of, to me, what financial coaching is about is just helping to keep people accountable
Mm-hmm.
and showing them that like there's a better way.
And that it can be done.
That
too.
and that it definitely can be done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely can be done. And that so many things start with like a small number.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's start saving $20
Mm-hmm.
a week.
Mm-hmm.
In a year, it will be $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another part of
Consistency
coaching.
over time builds up.
It's like you don't lose 20 pounds
in a month.
in a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
You may lose 1 or 2 pounds, but then in 6 months you've lost the 20 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what a lot of
and it's better than
is.
if you had not been doing it, even if it took the time to
Yeah.
take that amount of time to do it. It's better than not having been doing it.
Consistency is more important than
The amount.
For sure,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you could say, okay, I'm gonna do $100 this week, and then next week you fall off. Because I think people underestimate how much following through does for their confidence,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
So the fact that you did it 4 weeks in a row encourages you to do it 4 more weeks.
Absolutely.
When you do it 1 week and then you fall off,
Mm-hmm.
you get discouraged.
Right.
Because that's why the small wins, the layups.
Right.
You see, if you only try to do home runs every time, you're gonna get disappointed.
Right.
If you only try to do 3-pointers every time, you're gonna get disappointed. Right. But consistently over time, little by little, back to the fitness thing, you're gonna turn around.
I think that could relate to anything in life.
Yeah, anything in life. Exactly. You get on the scale and you're like, I'm doing this every day. I'm going to the gym. I'm trying to eat right. I'm not seeing anything happening. And then one day, you're gonna put on those pants and they're gonna fit different.
Exactly.
One day you're gonna go on the scale and it's gonna be less. And the same thing. One day you're gonna go in the account and you're like, I can't believe I saved this much. Like, yes, you did, girl. You did that, right? And so I think that's one of the big takeaways I would say for people to start small and be consistent, and build your confidence in yourself that you can do it. Like when I was writing my dissertation, I'd say just write for 20 minutes. Just write for 20 minutes. And I never wrote for 20 minutes. It always would end up being more. But I set that for myself. I set a timer for 20 minutes. Be consistent, write for 20 minutes. And then I look up, it's been 2 hours. Right? But if I told myself for 2 hours,
you wouldn't start.
I wouldn't start.
That's good. That's good information. So if you can describe your life in 3 words, what would those 3 words be and why?
My life in 3 words. Content. I'm very. Oh, just the 3 words. Or
you can know. Yeah, why? Okay. 3 words and why? Yeah.
All right. So back up. So 3 words. I would say content. Like I'm at a place in my life right now where I feel very fortunate with everything that I've done and I've accomplished. That as much as I could do more. If I never do more, I'm content with where I am. If I could stay at this point, what's today, the 26th or whatever, for the rest of my life, if it looks like this, I'm okay with that. Right. So I'd say content. If another word to describe my life, I think service. Like I really, really like being of service to others. I feel like God has, not to be cliche, but like God has blessed me to be a blessing.
No, that's not cliche.
So, that's such a big part too of even why I do a lot of the stuff I do with regards to finances stuff. Like if I can give anyone advice, if I can help somebody find a job, just anything I can do to like help somebody to push their life further ahead. Like I try to do it. I am that friend who will be like, I was laughing about this the other day. Somebody was like, "You are your mother's child," because I'm the friend that would be like, "So what are you doing with your life?"
Yeah, right.
So I'm the friend that will.
That's the friend people need.
I'm the friend that will be like, "Yeah, that's not a good way to do X or Y," and I'm like, I don't know who appointed me that friend, but that's the friend that I am.
Right.
You know, if you want somebody to keep you accountable, I'm that person. So that part of my life, I'd say, trying to be of service. And then a third word. You know, I'm at a point right now where I have a lot of freedom. With my life, which I really cherish. You know, I have a lot of flexibility with my job, where I'm able to, you know, go to the gym. I'm able to take walks in the middle of the day. I'm able to, I have, you know, other interests that I'm able to work on, and so I'm really happy that I have the freedom to do
so.
all these things. Yeah,
I've always said freedom, and freedom of time is priceless, right?
Yeah.
Because for years I was an entrepreneur until I went down the path that I am on now, right? Which I'm still an entrepreneur at heart. But the freedom of time was everything to me. And I think what happened is I didn't really steward well over the freedom of time. But however, I am now on a path of purpose, right? Because purpose is service. And so a part of your purpose is serving, whether it be through health, whether it be through finance, or just serving on a daily basis in whatever it is that you do. So freedom is everything. Most definitely everything. Because I know that there are different levels of freedom too, right? There's freedom of time to do what you want, and also freedom to do what you love, where it also feels like you have the freedom of time because what you're doing you love so much.
There's also a freedom that comes of thought.
Yeah.
There's a freedom of like
no worries and stress and anxiousness.
Yes, and there's a freedom of not having to conform. You know, like I feel like every day that you wake up, you have to separate your voice from the world's voice.
Yes.
And
God's voice from the world's voice and your own voice too.
Yeah. And so that's, I think, like my word for 2025 was clarity. You know, being able to clearly hear and clearly and it's like a constant.
It is,
because I'll say the world will tell you who you are, and you have to kind of push back.
Right. And to define who you are. And also for me lately, it has been staying still and reflecting and meditating on God's voice, right? Being able to have the sensitivity to hear him speaking to me, and being able to be still enough have the discernment to know that it is him, and then have the boldness to obey whatever he's telling me to do, whether it's something that I wouldn't think that I would be doing, or something that I might see as painful in the moment, or whatever it is, but just to understand it is him that is talking to me. So that has been the past few months what I have been doing. So yeah, and with that comes clarity too, right? Because a lot of times we'll have thoughts in our head and think we're doing a right thing, and it not be right. And then you just have to take a step back and really take a look at the situation, because sometimes you can get lost in the world, in the world's view of you, right? Or just the world's view, period.
Yeah. There's so many expectations that we put on ourselves that's like baggage from the world.
From the world.
Like my friend wrote a book recently, and he talks about we have a backpack full of rocks. And a lot of those rocks we got from like whether it be our parents or our friends, that they're not our stuff, but you end up carrying them around. Right. And so I think that's a big part of freedom too. Like putting that backpack down.
When you put the backpack down, even if you unload it little by little, and then you enjoy the process of unloading the baggage that you might not even have known that you were carrying, right? Even from childhood, we carry trauma, and all these things are so cliche, right? But they're real life things and real life situations, and it really is a situation where we have to delve deep in order to be free, in order to not have that backpack full of rocks on, because that thing get heavy. And sometimes we're so used to carrying it, we don't even know that the weight is there.
There's definitely a freedom, a lightness about that, and then an appreciation. Definitely an appreciation.
Especially once you identify with it. appreciate even going through it, right? Because sometimes, because most recently, a lot of my discussions have just been about when you are going through a thing, and it'd be so hard to go through something. Everybody goes through something that is a level of fear for them, anxiousness for them, or a level of burden for them, no matter what level it is on. And so when you're going through that, sometimes you feel like God isn't there, right? But He is the one that kind of brings us through those things, right? To make us stronger, to make our faith stronger, and to make all those things just worthwhile. And at the end of the day, we're brand new and free, like you say. Peace.
I think it's so important to find in small moments, because we're always looking for the big things.
Come on, girl.
Like in the small moments, the small things. To be like,
just the small things.
That's why this happened.
Yeah.
You know, or I'm so grateful. You know, and back to things about things sounding cliche. It doesn't always happen, but whenever it happens, and I realize why something didn't work out, it may take you a month, it may take you 2 years, it may take you 10 years, and then you're like, oh, that's why I didn't get that thing. Oh, that's why this thing was better than that.
It's God's protection, is what it is.
But a lot of times we don't see it. A lot of times you just gotta trust that this is the way it should be. But every now and then, you get a like inkling, something shows. You know, like it's equivalent to, like, I'm making this up, but you're late. The people who are like late for something, and then they find out there was like a fire on the train or something. You're like, oh, that's why I was late, right? So we don't always have that confirmation,
but it's always there,
right? But when you get it, you're like, oh, I'm so glad that I was late this morning, because I could have been in that accident, right? Whatever. So sometimes you get that confirmation, sometimes you don't. But so many times, I've gotten the confirmation enough times
to
know that when things don't work out,
they're not supposed to work out. Everything is working out how it's supposed to. Might not be how we wanted it to, but it always works out how it's supposed to. And we're always right where we're supposed to be. Even if we're late, we're right where we're supposed to be. That's why I even most recently stopped rushing to do things. If I get there when I get there at the perfect time, right? And if I can't find my keys, or I find it in every moment, I know that there's a protection there for me. So and even if we don't see it, if we don't have that confirmation, the confirmation is trusting that all things are working out for our greater good.
So one of the things that I journaled about and I struggle with, you know, with regards to stuff like that, I'm moving away from like you're already supposed to be, but more in terms of, you know, people will say like, God will work it out, right? But then I sometimes feel like that's an excuse for people to not take their own accountability with some things. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
And so it's like, God will work it out, but what are you doing yourself to change your situation? Or, you know, are y'all supposed to be working together? Right. And so on. So that's one of the things that sometimes I wonder about Christians, that the day-to-day work of some things, especially with, I don't know if this is even the right term to use, but prosperity culture, where it's like, God will bless you, God will give you everything that your heart desires, and so on. But I'm like, well, baby, what are you doing to work towards that thing? Or, you know, or are you being, like you said, a good steward, right?
Of
so
what you have,
of what you have, right? And whether it be like you say, like, I want this, I want more time, or I want more money, or I want whatever the things that you say you want more of, and that you're praying for. But I'm looking at you like, but you're not being disciplined, or you're not being, you know, doing the work. You're not putting in the skin in the game
to get it. So God will work it out. For me, I can only speak for me and my Christianness. God will work it out is will guide me on the path to where I need to go, to guide me on the path to the work that I need to put in. Sometimes we do need to sit still in order to hear what it is He wants me to do, or even see it. Because sometimes if we're moving around too much, we're going against His will, right? And if it's not for me, if I'm not flowing into a situation, or if I don't feel free flowing into it, and I'm resistant, then it's not for me. Because a lot of times we will see this path here that's straight, and then we'll go this way because we feel like, well, I don't want to go that way. This way is quicker. And then you end up taking a detour or whatever it is may be. But I think that definitely have to be sensitive to what it is that He wants you to do. Sometimes you're moving too much, you're doing too much of you and not what He wants you to do.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's why I pray for there to be less of me and more of him, so that I can just live according to his purpose for my life.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share a moment in your life that completely changed your perspective on success? What is success to you now versus what it was to your 18-year-old self?
I don't know if 18-year-old Caresse really thought about success.
Well,
success, 18-year-old Caresse was just like, I want all A's or things like that,
right.
stuff like that. Success for me now, what I will say is it's interesting how there's things that you wanted and what the things that you wanted, and once you can get them, you like don't want them anymore.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so success for me now is like the freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Success for me now is, like you said, it's not like monetary, or it's there was a time where when I was younger I visited 10 countries in 1 year. In 2025, Caresse don't even have the stamina for that. So I think success for me now is a lot quieter. Now it's more about like peace of mind. I was thinking about my mom. I was thinking about my mom. My mom did not make a lot of money. Like when I had to put my mom's money in, how much my mom's salary was in American money, it was $12,000 for the year.
I think I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, and my mom, like, we never worried about our lights being cut off. Like, we were able to afford all the things we wanted to do because she was such a good steward with what she had.
Right.
I remember when I was like in high school and she bought the house that she currently lives in now. Like, we didn't have any furniture in the living room because my mom never had a credit card.
Right.
Until she saved the money for the furniture in the room, so the room was just empty for however
but she
long.
had the house though.
But she had the house, and so for me, a lot of it is just like, am I able to do the things that I want to do when I want to do it? And that has nothing to do with like really extravagant things or necessarily expensive things. Success for me is a certain peace of mind. Like, as I said, the peace of mind that I feel like my mom had, right? She wasn't necessarily like, she didn't take trips to Paris or stuff that I be trying to do, but she could afford everything she wanted to do.
Right. That's the level of freedom too.
I tell you that, and so that's kind of where I am for success. Like, I don't need to necessarily climb, the corporate ladder or when I say I want to have a certain amount of money in the bank, once again, it comes down to I want to have enough to have a certain type of freedom, a few money. Right. I want that. I don't have to stay in any situation, whether it be like a relationship with a person or a job or anything where I feel like I'm being compromised.
Right.
Right. So that's success to me, is having the freedom to move around if I need to.
Right.
That's the point that I'm at right now, and just to be able, once again, to define. That's the whole thing with clarity. Be able to define success for myself.
For you.
Because once again, society will tell you that you're not successful if you're not married.
Yeah.
Society will tell you, it doesn't matter that I have a PhD. You're not married.
Right.
Not white. Success may tell you because you don't have kids. I mean, society will tell you you're not successful if you don't have certain things. If you don't live in this certain place. If you don't have if you don't have employees or and so it's defining what is important for you and what success. And I don't knock anyone. So if someone else says a success for them is having a Bentley,
right, that's you.
I want us all to get what we want in life,
exactly.
whatever that looks like. I will cheer for people all day long, even if it's something I don't value.
Right, because what does it matter? It doesn't matter to you.
It doesn't matter to me.
You can cheer them on.
I can cheer them on. I want us all to win. But I want us to all define success for ourselves.
Right, and not put it on nobody else.
I don't want you to want a Bentley because people gonna look at me because I have a Bentley.
Right.
So I'm saying I want it to be because that's what you want in your heart of heart. That's your deepest
what makes
desire.
You happy. Yeah.
Because that makes you happy. What makes me happy is waking up at 9 o'clock in the morning. That makes me so happy.
No, that's right.
That those are the things that what makes me happy is just being able to have a slow life. Right. Not like you said, not having to rush stuff. Like today I went to the gym at lunchtime and I was late for my meeting with my boss, and I texted her like, can we start a little later because I'm running late. And it was okay. Like that to me is success. You know what I'm saying? That to me it's the pinnacle. Like I have made it
Right.
to be able to, as I said, and I think I started that when I said earlier, to be able to do the things that I want to do.
Right. When you want to do it.
When you want to do it,
Mm-hmm.
it's great. That is great. So it's not for me a money thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like a place,
Mm-hmm.
a place. And like you said, not worrying, like having a certain going back to the finances,
Mm-hmm.
having a certain degree of financial security, a safety net for
and
yourself,
freedom,
right? For yourself. That to me is success.
What are your core values? What drives you?
Drives me. I would say love.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the core of everything I do, I really love people.
Mm-hmm.
I really want us all. I really want us to all win.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, the stranger on the street, my cousin, whoever it is, close people to me. Like I really want people to win. I really want people to feel supported.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's so much that we take for granted.
Indeed.
You know, like I try to remember to tell my friends like I'm proud of them. Like you said, try to tell people you love them because there's a lot of things that if you don't do it, you'd be surprised that nobody else will.
Nobody else will.
Like you know, something like that where you're just like I said, like the people that tell I'm proud of them, and I know that they're like nobody's ever told me that.
And that means a lot. You have to tell people.
You know,
you smile at strangers even.
Listen, like there's this lady in the gym that we had like a short conversation one time, and now every time I see her, so the next time I saw her in the gym,
y'all best friends.
Next time I saw her in the gym, older lady, she's from Bangladesh. I was like, "Hey, my friend," and I gave her a hug. Now every time this lady sees me in the gym, she gives me a wide hug, arms wide open every time she sees me now, right? And so a lot of that too is like that lady would have never done that if I didn't do it first.
Right. That too. Yeah.
I was talking to one of my best friends from like elementary school. She lives in London now. She was like, Caresse, we're only friends because you were so persistent.
Right.
I am that person who will walk in a room and I'm gonna go over to the person who like looks really quiet. Oh, you're not talking to somebody. You okay? I have in a few of my jobs, we did this thing called Strength Finder, and my strengths are things that are all relationship building, like you know, making people feel like part of a group and a team. And I used to hate that. Right. Woo is one of mine, which is winning others over.
Right.
And I used to hate it because I'm like, I want to be like analytical. I want to be one of competitive. I want to be like cutthroat people. I want to be the movers and shakers.
I got to be the loving one, right?
Right. I'm like, why I got to be the social friendly butterfly person, right? Or and I used to fight it so much. And then once I was on Facebook and someone else was describing their stuff, and they were like, I wish I was woo, right? Somebody, you know, so it's kind of funny that like a lot of stuff that you are like, because it comes so easy to you, right? It comes so easy to you that you don't realize somebody out there's wishing they had what you had,
right? Always.
And so I am really leaning into that stuff, like you know, the networking side, right? You know, networking, building relationships, all of that stuff comes like really easy to me. Making people feel seen, all of that stuff comes really easy to me. So I don't never really.
There's nothing for you.
I didn't put any.
It's natural for you.
Yeah, it's so natural to me. I never put any. I didn't think of it as much substance, right? And so, but as I said, I'm you know leaning more into it. And so.
Well, that's beautiful. Yeah, just to lean into that because I'm the total opposite, right? Just depends on the situation, but I am the observant type, and it takes a lot for me to, though I am friendly, it takes a lot for me to make friends in respects to letting people in and letting people too close, and I have guards up and all types of other stuff. So I know it could seem sometimes where I'm standoffish or just even not friendly, where I really am. It's just that I think I have I know that once I let people in, they're in. And so I have a defense mechanism from being hurt, you know? And so I think that that's why sometimes when I go out or whatever, I would have to go and just venture off to be by myself, because I'm also like an empath where I feel people's energy and stuff like that, where I can pick up on certain things. And so, but I am now doing this podcast actually has helped me. I've always been a good communicator with who I communicate with, but it's helped me to come outside of and share more about myself and come outside of the shell that I'm in, and to just learn and heal from people is what's been happening for me. And so when I talk to people who have known me for years, and I'll ask them certain questions, and so I'm learning that people feel safe with me, right? And I'm learning to, I've always known that, but I'm learning to accept that and not giving pushback. Like if I get a compliment in that realm, to say, "Oh, well, girl, I trust you too." "Oh, well, girl," try to give a compliment back instead of just saying thank you. So I feel like I'm being birthed into a new person or something else, or another purpose or area of my life, right? And it just feels really good. And so I get that leaning into who you are, right?
Yeah, that's what it is.
The thing that comes natural for you, that you don't even really see it. Or for me, I try to shy away from it. Are you a creative?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't feel that way.
Oh.
I'm trying. Like I've been doing this. I've been posting on like Facebook and on Threads, like story time, where I give these little tidbits about my life and stuff. And so that's like me being, and also I think because of my background, because I'm a researcher and I write more technical papers and I write things for publication that you don't really write in your voice, right? We only write quote unquote facts and data. And so for me to be more just freestyle and free flowing, that is something that I tried to tap into, and that's been like a really great experience. That's because
what is a stigma in finances that you think that most people believe but it's not true?
If I could like erase one thing from people's minds, it would be that people think they're the only ones struggling.
Yeah.
And so there's like a lot of shame, and there's a lot of people keeping stuff to themselves, and we can't
get the help you need, right?
Can't get the help we need.
Listen to me. So
we can't get the help we need if we don't talk about it, if we don't put it out there. People say all the time, like, like I'm always talking about money. I tell anybody how much money I make. I tell anybody how much I paid for my house. I tell anybody how I got to anywhere. And it's because I want you to know it's possible, and I want you to feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's been times where I'm talking with a friend, and she was like, she took money out of her 401k and had to pay some kind of penalty. And I'm like, if you had talked to me, or maybe me or somebody else, we could have told you, instead of taking money out your 401k, you could have taken a loan against your 401k and paid interest back to yourself. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things, you don't know, so you put it out there,
right? So people should grasp it.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of times God, the universe, whatever you believe in, will send people to help you along the way. But people cannot help you if they don't know what's going on with you, right? And so I feel like I've had so many people that have helped me because, or told me, oh yeah, you can apply for this. Oh yeah, they got this going on over here. Like,
so you open your mouth.
Yeah, you have to. And so, but I think, as I said, the shame.
The shame for me it was because in 2013 started a business. I had a business partner. He taught me a lot, an older gentleman. I started out being his assistant, and we became partners, and we did a lot in real estate. Was doing well did all the things I was supposed to do, properties, I had investments, like everything that I was supposed to do, and I had freedom of time and just all these things. And I think for me, when the downfall came for me, because I wasn't financially astute, I ended up going through stocks and bonds and 401ks and everything that I had, my whole savings, trying to live the same life that I had been living and not scaling down so that I can revamp and be able to stay afloat. For me, it was not scaling back, not changing my budget, still acting like I didn't have to look when I'm swiping something. And then it came to where I needed help, but I suffered alone. I can definitely relate to the shame of it, because I remember when I did have to ask for help
was forced into telling my situation, right? To force having to say, well, I don't have it because X, Y. And I remember feeling just, I felt so ashamed and I felt like a failure. I felt it was just like but through that, I felt like I was breaking something, if that makes sense to you. It felt like I had a breakthrough in that, whereas I didn't feel, because I'm just a very private person to begin with. And so to ask for help and to do all those things and to let it be known was like a big deal for me. But because of that, I am a lot more open to talk about it now, because there's plenty of people who have been here and have to come back down to base in order to be built back up. And there's several different reasons why. And because before, my belief system was different, just the whole nine. I'm a totally different person now. And so I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for the rock bottom. I'm grateful for having to be coming out of it and seeing God's grace in it, right? Because even though I was at the lowest, I didn't lose my house. I still had properties. I was able to feed my son. I still was able to, go out in the world, So I wasn't as low as I could have been, but it was low enough for me to be able to see God's grace in it. So
for sure, I think, like I said, these type of conversations, because like you said, people suffer alone, so they feel like they're the only ones. But if we were able to have more open discussion, and I joke about this stuff all the time about how we'll talk about sex, for example, like we'll I know even within our little chat group, like what people's favorite position is,
right.
or you might know this or that.
You don't know what their finances going on
or whatever, but people won't talk about that. No, but that's private.
Yeah,
but we
always spread out in the room, right, but all the rest.
But I know, like where you've had sex in these places, right? But your finances. Oh, we can't talk about that.
Right.
And so just as I said, but I understand why people don't want it, because people don't want it to be like used against them, right? Or people back to that whole thing about, like we talked about, what society tells you success is, right? And so what if we don't look at it as failure? What if we just look at it as like another chapter in the book, right?
That's exactly what it looks like. Yeah.
And so on, and I think that that's why I think the conversations are so important, because as I said, the reason why I think talk about this other stuff really, right? Sex, breakups, a man did you dirty, right? all the things, some of the, is because you think everybody has gone through it, so you don't feel like you're alone, right? So you don't feel ashamed, like a man cheated on you, shoot, he cheated on me too, right? I've been cheated on too, and you be swapping stories. Who got cheated on the worst, right? But with finances stuff, nobody's swapping stories about my rock bottom versus your rock bottom.
And it's not that it's and it's also not that you don't think that people are going through it. You just don't want people to think that you're going through it. Right. In society, are there any beliefs? Is there anything in society that you can remove and make this appear? What would it be?
Make this a different world. So I think that if we were more like our brother's keeper,
more selfless.
If we were more selfless, if we more thought about the greater good and so on, that
for mankind.
Yeah.
And I think about ourselves so much.
Yeah. And I was talking to my best friend since elementary school about that, and she was like, there were some girls that used to be like mean to you, and you were still friends with them until like they became your friends. And I was like, I never knew they were being mean to me, because I just didn't see it as that, right? Like, to me, I just be thinking you going through something. You know what I'm saying? I put it on you. I never put it on me.
Right.
So if you don't say what's up, I'm giving an example. Like, if you don't say what's up to me, I'm like, oh, she must be something going on with her. Because I always think I didn't do nothing to this person. So whatever it is, I will be resolve it, and I'm gonna be here when you figure it out. I'm gonna still be here, girl.
I'm gonna give you 3 words. You're going to choose one and expound on it.
Okay.
Curiosity, human, and belonging. Or belonging.
I would say curiosity. It was because it's a word that I was talking about today. I was saying how sometimes the context I used it in today was saying how sometimes we are so quick to get defensive instead of being curious. Instead of being like, no, it's not like that, and challenging what's being said to us. Like, what if we were more curious to be like, well, why do you feel that way? And why did you say that? And why did you do that? and so on. So I think that curiosity can really help us. Even if you take it out of personal relationships and just the way how society deals with each other.
Mm-hmm. They assume a lot.
Yeah.
Just by what a person looks like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or even, you, as I said, you meet somebody off the street or you're introduced to someone and they have a different thought process from you, instead of just being like, that's wrong or that's stupid, or
oh my
that's
God,
whatever. It's like,
that's big for me.
Be curious.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Do you see marriage? Do you want to be married?
I'm open. In 10 years, I want to be retired.
Right.
Things like that. But that's more of a career type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
what is retired Reese doing?
Retired Reese is being worthless, as my mother would say, being worthless. If you feel like if you're not working, you're worthless.
I don't think I could ever see Reese as worthless, but
well, I'm just saying.
I know. But I think that would my fit finance be like your main focus at that point?
Yeah, I don't even know. I think how I even came about doing my fit finance was thinking, what would I do what's something I would do even if I couldn't get paid to do it? Mm-hmm. And that's something that I would do. That's something I never get tired of talking about. That's something I never get tired of working on, writing about. So yeah, I think I'll always be dealing with people in finances. And that's the thing, money doesn't go anywhere.
No, it don't.
It doesn't go anywhere. That's your lifelong friend. And so that's something that till the end of time people will be dealing with.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter you're married, divorced,
single, child,
rich, poor, skinny, fat, like money affects us all. And so no, I don't really have I'm back, but I do see myself being worthless. Worthless is like really not a care in the world. I'm not one of those people who gets bored doing nothing.
Right, me either.
So I would love to do nothing.
Either. Like I can do nothing all day.
Right. All day long.
I can be worthless all day long.
Worthless. Okay?
That's hilarious.
Just get up at 10 o'clock, get up at 11 o'clock.
And be okay with it.
Eat, go to the gym, just relax. Yeah, but of course, what would give me great joy, give me great pride, is of course if I was able to help people, and as I said, help people financially, help people to become stable, and accomplish their financial goals.
Right.
Yeah, that would give me a lot of pride. And if you talk about like legacy, I don't have kids, but if I can help people to change their trajectory with regards to their finances and things that can help them with their family, that's a legacy. Yeah, that is a legacy.
It is, absolutely. A lot of little babies out there, financial babies. Do you want children?
Yeah. No, I do not want children. And even something like that was
success for you. Yeah, that stigma of success.
Yes, even that was listening to like your own voice and not just doing something because you think like that's kind of what's next to be done.
Right.
And even to be able to say that out loud, and not feel some type of way.
Right. That's a level of freedom, yeah.
And not exactly. So that's when I say about freedom, it's like about defining for yourself. And not, because when I say it, so I get so much friendly pushback, right? Where people are like, it's because you just haven't met the right man yet, or because you haven't this yet, or or you have too much to not share it with. And everybody has their own things to project on you of how they feel, or what they think is like right, and so to be able to really live your own truth is so awesome.
It is.
It's so awesome.
It is.
And to have peace. When you're talking about, that's one of the things that I had a decision to make. I was really like reading a lot, praying a lot, journaling a lot, reading all these devotionals and stuff. And I was just like, kind of like, God, should I do this or that? And then I feel like I'd read something,
do this.
Do this. And the next day I read something and I'm like, no, I think it's that. And when I made the decision, I felt such peace with it. Then I knew I made the right decision.
Right.
Because before I was very tug of war. And that's when, and that goes back to the whole clarity thing. Because sometimes we think we want something because we think that's the only way to get it. Right?
Yeah.
because we're not opening our eyes to the
The
possibilities.
broader perspective.
And so, the like example I had used when I spoke about it on online, I was like, I remember being so disappointed that I didn't get this job because I wanted to be able to stay in Atlanta and the job was a remote job. And I was so disappointed. It wasn't that I wanted that job. I wanted to stay in Atlanta.
Right. That was the core. What did you really want?
So what I really wanted was to stay in Atlanta, not the job. And once I realized that, I ended up getting another job that was not remote, but then getting them to make it remote.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times when we face certain disappointments or certain things, we need to be clear on what is it that we really want.
What do you want?
Versus that superficial thing. So, like you may think like you really want money, but or is it that you want the freedom to be able to pick up your kid from school?
Yeah.
Right? If it's really that you want the freedom, you
can make them changes.
You can make certain changes. You might be able to find a job that gives you that flexibility so you can go pick up Noble from school.
Right.
It's not so much that you need to make X more money.
Right.
So it's just little things like that. So that's what, when I said that I had that moment where like I had a certain clarity, it was the clarity and the peace came from me realizing what I really wanted.
Right.
And then it was easier to make the decision.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be profound for a lot of people. What do you want? Because a lot of people, you get mixed up in all the details, but it really comes down to what is it that you really, what do you want to get from this? What did you look to gain from this?
Yeah.
What was the outcome that you wanted?
And so it may not be, a lot of times we'll say, as I said, like, you want more money, or you want this job, but it's really you want security. Or what is the root of the thing? What's the core? What's the core value, that the core thing that you want? And once you realize what that is, then you can look for other ways to get it.
Right.
Then you see that there's not just one avenue to get there. Once you figure out what that thing is.
Right.
But a lot of times, as I said, we're so stuck on the more the physical thing, like the house or the job or whatever.
Because that's not the house you want to come from.
Another example that I had was like, you might be like, oh, I need a vacation. And it's like, really, I just want to decompress. And I could probably do that with a staycation.
Right.
And it costs less.
Nothing.
Actually. Or I maybe need to go, you may have like a girlfriend who lives, driving distance that you can just drive to Nashville to that girlfriend. So did you really need a vacation to Cancun?
Right.
Or did you need a quiet place to decompress?
Right.
And so that's what I talk about when figuring out what's the real need or the real want.
Right. That makes life more simpler.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot more simpler.
Exactly.
I like that. What's the greatest piece of advice you've ever been given? And how has it shaped your life?
I wouldn't say it's advice per se, but someone posted something and I have it on my like my Instagram page, and it's basically says, I'm in a rush. My pace is perfect. I'm in a rush for nothing, and what is for me will not pass me by.
Right.
And so I just try to, when you feel like, I use that to kind of calm my nerves, or when I feel like, because I don't think I'm an overachiever, but I'm a high achiever, right? That's the way I was raised. Everything is about like winning and being excellent and so on. And so I've been working on that. I've been working on like, I didn't do it today, I can do it tomorrow.
Right. Hopefully.
Get it.
And if you don't do it, get the chance to do it tomorrow when it's supposed to be done.
Yeah. So like knowing that my pace is perfect. Kind of, I guess it's similar to like you be saying you are where you're supposed to be and all of that. And like what is for me will not pass me by
ever. And
so I think when you kind of move with that notion, then you're not as tempted to like. I mean, everybody goes through disappointments, right? But you're able to kind of roll through it. You give yourself
grace. Yeah. Thank you, Reese. That was enjoyable. I got a good gems to take with me. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for the invite.
Of course.
I'm glad to be a part of this journey with yours.
Thank you. It's
Yeah.
been a good journey. Did you feel free?
Yeah.
Open to speak about what you wanted to say and no judgment, right? That's the environment. I'm so glad. Thank you so much.
Yeah. We felt the same.
I did.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening to this episode of 1188 Outside the Box podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, check out 1188outsidethebox.net for more information about us and shop our collection. Until next time, remember that growth ain't optional, y'all. It's a lifestyle.